Good day, everyone. Today is typical Monday, very slow day, 2:05 p.m. Eastern Time, 13 November, Monday. And we have a disclosure. Please read it. This is a normal day on a scalper, but today we're not covering the scalper. And you can see there's a black, there is a red and a green on this one here. And it's okay. But today what I want to cover, what is we have on the automated scalper. And most of the important things that a trader don't recognize or don't realize when he need to auto trade, there is a lot of factor in there. One of them is limited order and a market order. On the limited order, it is where on most of the auto trades they have a limited order or a market order, and then we have a trailing stop, stop loss, and a break even stop. A lot of traders, they have this we find out they don't understand the difference between a limited order and a market order. On the market order, when you take any kind of auto trade on a market order, you have a slippage, and those slippage is sometimes on a fast market can go up to 2 ticks on the way in and 2 ticks on the way out. So as an example, if we made 10 tick on a limited order, and if the market going fast and you have the same auto trade on a market order, if we made 10 ticks on a limited order and the market going fast and you have a slippage, sometimes you can go up to 2 ticks slippage on the way in and 2 ticks out on the way out. That's 4 ticks. Let's say if the tick is $10 on the limited order, you made 10 ticks is $100. But when you go on a market price, and if the market going fast, you have a slippage, sometimes can go more than 2 if there is some major news and the market going very fast. So if you have a slippage 2 ticks on the way in and a slippage 2 ticks on the way out, and let's make it simple, calculated $10 per tick, so you would have made 6 ticks on one trade. And this is what is the scalper, or when you are trying to scalp, is a small trade. So let's say if that trade average is on 10 ticks, so when you are limited, you get 10 ticks, you don't have a slippage. And if you are going on the market order, then you have slippage. Sometimes you hear a trader that's saying is the limited order has better performance. No, they both have the same performance, but sometimes a trader failed to read how fast the market, and he don't realize how much slippage he has for today when he's going limited. He's just looking at the number and he's not looking at the slippage entry, and that it is a disaster on any kind of auto trade. That frustration among the traders, they can blame it on an auto trade, any kind of auto trade, or they can blame it on the broker because they cannot get filled immediately when they are trading live. You cannot do anything about that. This is the mechanical trading. There is one of the basic in the mechanical trading is you have to, it's not just the auto trade. The auto trade is a part of your equation when you're trading. The other one is your firewall, not Wi-Fi. You should have a cable connected to the wall, the speed of the internet you have, and sometimes there is a big impact on your computer if it's out of date or not. And another factor I like to do, if I wanted to auto trade, let's say I want to trade 4 charts, instead having 20 different charts and then have millions of data coming in and out, then I prefer to have 4 charts, the ones I want to trade with, and save the energy of my computer or the internet direct to my live trade, which a lot of traders fail that. Most of the time I see that traders have different platforms. They are running 40 different charts on NinjaTrader, and some other platforms, without naming any platforms, they have also, sometimes I have seen 3 different platforms, and all of them coming out of one computer. And that is, you're sucking the energy out of your internet and your computer, and this is not healthy. I basically, if I wanted to auto trade live, it's a different when we are going on a sim, but when you want to go live, you want to try to be a little bit concerned about the energy you are using in NinjaTrader or any other platform, and try to use that internet to those the ones you're going live. This aggravation among any trader for new people, especially the traders, even if you are trading options or stocks, when we used to put 1,000 stock Motorola on for sale, and a market order or a limited order, sometimes we can sell 300 out of it, and then we have 700, and then, or if you want to sell 1,000 stocks, you can see 300 stock went to China, another 200 went to Europe, and another 500 went to USA. But with the future trading, you either have 2 options here. You have an option of limited order or a market order. The difference between those 2 scalpers, one is a scalper and one is a swing trading. On the A scalper, you have the option to have the stop loss, trailing stop, and then break even. Then you have the news filter, like any other auto trade. Then we have 3 filters here. It's an optional to the trader, but the auto trade is already get filled. It's already filtered. And then you have your daily profit and your losses, so you can determine how much you want every day. When once you hit the target 500, the auto trade will stop, or if you want to hit 1,000, the auto trade will stop. And then we left it for, if you want to make a template, if you want to mess with the filters, because if you want to go market order, you can do that. But here is where most of the problems by the amateur trading. Even some traders, they've been trading stocks for 20 years. It does not mean they can trade futures or option, because on the future trading you have to be alert, and the things can go very fast, and like the stocks or options where things can take it easy, and it's a very slow process and a very slow risk reward, whereas in the future is a faster, higher risk, and there is higher rewards, of course. Most of the traders, they have a problem with 2 problems here. First of all, those auto trades, they do not require optimization. If we want to talk about optimization, we have a lot of other auto trade. You can sit down and optimize it. An optimization might take you 6 months before you can able to go live with it, to optimize it the way you want it, because you have to back test it, forward test it, and put it live on a data and let it take 4,000 trade, and then you can take it live. You cannot just take auto trade out of the box and start live trading it if it require any optimization. Here is where most of the traders, they have a problem. Even if that auto trade does not require any optimization, because when you turn on your NinjaTrader, if it's anything needs to be updated, it goes automatically to your updating. but the trade is coming out of your computer. But the updates is already, we took that business away from you, because in our experience we find out 90% of the traders cannot optimize. And even if they know how to optimize, it is a very long process. And then if the EAS today, as an example, cross the 10 days moving average, or the 50 days moving average, or the 200 days moving average, then your whole optimization is to the garbage and you have to re-optimize again. And that has failed by 90%. We came out with something at the beginning as a scalper. Even on the scalper, we have people fail to read the market if the market is going slow and fast. Some of them did not. Some of them, they went like a fish in the water. Then we added some of the filters. But the problem is, most of the problems here is limited order, stop, or market order. And then you can, on the price mode, you can go on a close of the bar or high and the low of the bar. The second problem, where 75% of the traders, they fell in the stop loss, and they fell in the trailing stop, and some of them, they did it so tight that they are going in and out on the same bar, and that it was really scary. Then we came out with something here on the auto trade. You can turn them all off, and then the auto trade take over your stop loss and your trailing stop, and then let the auto trade decide for you. This is the first stage on the scalper. Then when we find out that the traders are still struggling on between the market price, then when we see that some of the traders couldn't even figure out the market order or the stop loss, which a lot of amateur trading couldn't understand the different, because sometimes on a limited order is all depends on your broker. Sometimes you get filled and sometimes you don't get filled. So when a trader don't get filled, and if it was a winning trade, he gets mad, and if it was a losing trade, he's happy because he missed that trade. And that is nothing we can do about it. It's not an auto trade at whatever auto trade you are using, whether it's ours or somebody else. This is the mechanical basic of the automated trading. You have an option of a limited and avoid a slippage, or you can go market order and try to handle the slippage. Does not mean when you are on a limited order, it is performing better, but it is a two different approach to the market. Which one you want to do? You want to miss some of the trades, or you want to face the slippage and then go market order. And that it is aggravation to any normal guy and aware of the basic of trading. And that is, of course, from your internet speed and your brokers and your platform you are working with. Sometimes between one platform and another could be one split second, and that split second means a lot. That's why we know those big firms, they pay billions of dollars to put cables from one state to another to gain 1 millisecond, because in the trading, in the future market, the 1 millisecond means a lot. And the disrespect for the market, we've had people, we said you cannot Wi-Fi and auto trade, and this is the worst enemy to do, use the Wi-Fi for an internet. So there is some, if you are looking at auto trade, it's not just the auto trade, ignition and lift off. There is some basic ground you have to understand as a trader, if you call yourself trader, or if you are an amateur trader and you do that for a hobby. You have to be aware there is some technical stuff any trader should be aware on it if he don't know. Skip that one here. So we came out a few months ago when we find out there is a problem. We came out with something much simpler for the trader. On this one here, you don't have anything. You have those 3-4 basic filters. Use them or not using them is up to you. But we left them if you want to use it. 90% of our traders do not use it, and they don't need to use it. The only thing on this one here, we said if you don't understand what is a trail and a stop and a stop loss and a break even, you do not understand, or this the limited order pissing you off, we came out with another system, is a swing trading. On that swing trading here, you can go market order or a limited order, but I go on a market order on this one here, and I can face the 1 tick or 2 ticks of slippage. So what we have done on this one here, I use that setting. This is the only thing you need to do on this one here, is activate your auto trade. You don't have to face your trailing stop, stop loss, a break even. You don't have to do any optimization, back testing, forward testing. All this is off your back. And it is a very simple approach what we have done to this one here, which is my favorite, and also to my traders I strongly recommend to use that approach for the ones don't understand the market or don't understand the moving market, because still we have some traders, they don't understand what is a scalping. They don't understand what is the difference between a scalping or swing trading. They don't understand why the news is very important in the market. Fair enough, you're not, you never heard of a news filter, then you can see why we have to use a news filter, and that's okay, that's fair enough. We're not picking on anybody, but what we did something very nice. So we, on that auto trade here, we have a total different approach to the market, that we are considering that guy don't understand the movement in the market, so he better off not to use the scalper, because the scalper require calm water. You need to wait till the market come down at 9:30, and then, or maybe if you wanted to trade overnight, or if you want to trade a couple hours before, or at 9:30, wait till the market takes direction around 9:45, and then you can start scalping the market once the market. On the third one is the opposite equation, and it is a different approach to the market. And it is very important for the trader to understand what type of an auto trade he has and how he is gonna use that auto trade to his benefits, and what kind of performance that auto trade is good at, and what market he can really nail in it. On this one here, you click on it. If you want to use the filter, use it, but you can go ahead and use the market price. And then if you want to enable your news filter, is very simple. You can enable it, and you say, I wanted the auto trade to stop 5 minutes before the news, or 10 minutes before the news, and then resume trading 10 minutes or 5 minutes after. And that's all what those guys has to do. This is the whole setup for that auto trade. There is no tweaking. I mean, for the ones advanced traders, they can use, there is 3 filters. But believe me or not, they are irrelevant. Irrelevant in a way, you really don't need them. But if you wanted to go and tweak them, you can go ahead and tweak it, because it's already, when you start your NinjaTrader in the morning, it's already been filtered, lined up, tuned up, ready for you to go. So the only things you have to do on that auto trade, very simple, straight out of the box, double click, put it on, keep it market order, filter, you want the news filter, turn it on, as an example, 5 minutes before or whatever makes you happy. Set your target, 500, 1,000, whatever it is, and this is it. And then you turn it on, and it's ready to go. That's all what you have to do to it. Another things we have done to it, this one here is a different approach. This one here, you only can start it when the market is open. If you are in USA and you trade the US market, you start at 9:30, exactly at 9:30. And on this one here also, you have the timing, what time, all of them they do, what time you wanted this auto trade. I have it at 0, 100 hour, 23, 24 hours, but you can change the time from your state or from the country you are in when the market is open, depends on your computer clock, and you say at 9:30 Eastern time, whatever is the time in your country or in your state, and then you say this one here, that kind of auto trade, you start at 9:30. For the traders, they know me, they know I love the DAX, and I've been doing the DAX for many years. And I want to show today, when I'm trading the DAX in the morning, I don't mess with that auto trade, especially the swing trading trend. I don't turn on the ES and the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones because it's not their time. Their time is 9:30 Eastern time, and for the ones living in England or in Germany or in Far East and DAX, it fits their time. And then you find out what time the DAX in Frankfurt open in your country, and then if the DAX open at 9:30 in your country, then you started the auto trade exactly when the market open in Europe, whether you want to trade CAC 40 or you want to trade the DAX, or you want to trade some other business in Europe. Once the market open, you turn on that auto trade, not before, because this one here is designed, and I'm gonna cover to you what we did for those guys have handicap, understand the market, or they have a lack of experience how to auto trade. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Is nobody came out on this earth and know how to trade. We all learned the hard way how to trade, and there is nothing to be ashamed of if somebody don't understand the market. But it is a bit expensive when somebody doesn't want to listen. That it gets expensive on him. So for the morning, I want to share with you, which today is Monday, and it's Monday today. I mean, it's not even a normal day. In the morning, in this session here, I want to show you exactly what the DAX did this morning, because I only trade the DAX in the morning. And for the ones also, it is for USA, it is an advantage for you. The reason I like the DAX, because it takes you one day, good day, and that can cover your whole week expense. Where on the ES you have to be in and out using a lot of times, and at the end of the week it's not for me. But in the same time, the DAX is a very fast moving market, and it does not require a guy sit down and whine and cry about it. Sometimes we can have a rough days, then you gotta get up and go, because that's life. We cannot do anything about it. And during the years you learn to be a little bit not motion involved with the trading, and this is part of the business, the risk. I wish it was everything is honey. There is no job in this life can be honey every day. But this is, I want to show you what it does, that auto trade. What I have done, I sit down and I said, I have traders don't understand the market about going slow or fast. They don't understand what is a stop loss. They don't understand what is a trailing stop. We have done unlimited webinars. We have done unlimited hours in the room, and still is just like it's nobody home. Some of them get it and some of them do not. They keep blaming NinjaTrader or another platform, or they blame the auto trade, and they deny to understand the mechanical trading. And that is a nightmare, especially for a professional trader, future professional trader. You give him a couple lines, fibs, and he can recognize how he can make money with it immediately, and which we have that from the zone. And then you give the same chart to guy is not trained to trade from the chart, and what he sees nothing but rubbish and lines, and both of them are looking at the same. So you cannot win over a guy is rejecting the idea that there is, your order has to go to the broker has to put it for you in the market, and then back and forth. He do not understand, he do not comprehend that. So thinking all those years how we can approach that, and it was a nightmare for me. So on this one here, which I strongly recommend my traders to start doing that, which this one here, the update for our traders, the ones have not got the update, contact me and I'll be more than glad. If you don't know how to not install it, I will be more than glad to install it for you. In the same time, as simple as that, that sometimes I say to new traders, when you want to go live, call me. I will set up a time with you to go live with you. Even that I couldn't accomplish sometimes, and people just do their own business. Because when I come into, especially I want to talk to my members, when I see you have 100 charts and you have a 2-3 different platform, I want to test your internet, I want to test your firewall, I want to see your setup, I want to see you're not doing anything wrong. I would like to sit with you on the first trade, and then you are on your own. It's really fine. I want to make sure that you are okay, and don't jump into this auto trade with that, because maybe there is something you have missed. So it doesn't take no more than 5 minutes calling me, sending me an email, telling me today or tomorrow I want to go live, and I will be more than glad to be with you on that first trade or a couple of trades. So if we notice here on the morning, I do not use any market, I only use the DAX. The first trade on the DAX, and this one is on 288 ticks. We took one trade, and the whole idea why here I do not care about the slippage, because that is a swing trading. One of the things about it, if you were using a dummy trailing stop, and this is the worst nightmare for an auto trade, is the trailing stop. The trailing stop is the minute you are back out of here, the trailing stop, no matter how good it is gonna knock you out of that trade, and then you're gonna go back into the trade. And this is the most of the traders do not understand that you are exposing yourself to the market more than what you are supposed to. Exposing your market, your account, doing the trading hours for 8 hours or 12 hours or 6 hours, you are in a great danger. The less you expose your account to the market, the better off you are. Going in and out of the market has never been profitable, and it will never be profitable, and especially for an amateur trader, he don't know what he's doing, because the majority of the auto trading, they're refuge to the auto trade because they have not succeeded with the trading, or they don't have enough years of the trading for many reasons. We're not trying to attack, but we need to put things in the perspective. We need to put things in a reality where this is the way it is. So on that one here on the DAX is 288 ticks. Took one trade. We can afford the slippage. On that chart here is what I said. What is the beauty about that, what we came out with? All of them, they are to $500 target. If we notice on this one here is a market order and a $500 target. And there is no filters, no tweaking, nothing. The reason is If the market got you 500 and is going to your direction, it's gonna stay on that trade. The whole principle of that trade is not going in and out of the market on purpose, because that guy with a lack of experience with the market, I give up. We tried for the last 7 years. We cannot succeed with 100%. Absolutely we cannot. You got the nice ones, the stubborn ones, the hard ones, and we all are different. And this one here, it is made to take the biggest trade we can get, because we have no idea when this market is going to swing. We don't know when this market is going to spike. No one on this earth knows when this market is going to spike. It could be 5 minutes before the market's open, or 1 minute after the market open, or on the last half an hour. But the market spikes one time a day. We don't know when. So this is one of the trades, and I got it, and I got 3.6 in euro. This is not an accident, guys. I'm going to continue, and I will be showing the future trades also in the USA. This is another one for range, and it is the same story, $500, and today on the 4 range took 1, 2, 3, losing trade 4, and it was done. The things is, and it is the same timing, always is the same timing, 3:30, 4 o'clock Eastern time, and this is where the DAX, and they are very, very, very consistent. I cannot tell you if tomorrow will make 1,000 or 2,000 or lose 1,000 or 2,000, but I can say they are very consistent. This is the 3 range DAX. And you can see 1, 2 small trades, and what we have done on it, there is no big there is no big stop loss on those, and I will show you. And then this one here got 815. This one here is 150 ticks. This one, it was the second round, and it was 26, 25. And I'll show you what time each one of them finish. The 1 minute, which most of the auto traders, they are scared to show you the 1 minute. Why? Because the 1 minute revealed the true identity of that auto trade. 90% of the auto trade will fail on 1 minute. 90%. That's why you don't see too many 1 minute automated trading out there. You see all kind of Rinky bar, Renko bar, all kind of crooked bars, but they will never show 1 minute. Constantly, they might show you one day 1 minute, but they cannot show you 1 minute every day. On the scalper, we've been using the 1 minute on the previous videos for the last 4 or 5 years, every day. If we notice here, this is a 1 minute, and I would like to highlight to show you the accuracy of the stop loss is nothing, is peanuts. So what we have done is, if the market is not going to our direction, this is a market order, we're dumping it immediately, as little as possible. The reason is, when we get up in the morning tomorrow on the DAX, if there is volatility and a bad volatility against my auto trade, then I have the privilege to survive until I get the spike in the market. This is the strategy we are taking. Very small stop loss, if it's necessary, and this is where the algorithms start working, and it is. Then we took 1 trade and we are done. So it is irrelevant. This one here is NASDAQ. I'm sorry. This is a NASDAQ. And this one, okay. This one here, if you notice, we started at 930 on the NASDAQ, 88.25. Anybody can afford the NASDAQ. We're not talking only about we can show also the YM, and we can show the NASDAQ and the ES. And this one here is a 530, and then by 10:35 you were done and over for today. And what it takes is a couple of ticks, and you don't have to bang your head through the wall with the stop loss, trailing stop, and tweaking the market. So this is an idea how we can auto trade. I mean, I'm sorry, I have a lot of charts. Let me show you. Here in the morning, and it is 8:52 Eastern time, and you can see I'm only trading the DAX because that kind of auto trade, you only started, you activate your auto trade at 9:30, and that's it. And once you hit that spike for today, you get your money. There is no more trades, not unless if you are an advanced trader and you know what you're doing. But you do not go ahead and reload the auto trade if you don't know what you're doing. If you notice on this one here, on the 244 ticks, and we have them all, took one or two trades, 775, 1600 on the 1 minute, 5 range, 912, 288, and you can see where is the trade, 3600 on the 5 minutes, 5500 on the 3 range, and you can see the market analyzer. This one 150 ticks, 4 range, 1 minute, and this is most of the time frame the auto traders worldwide, that's what they use, and that's what I'm using today. 1000 volume, and I want to cover the volume a little bit, and then 244 ticks, 3 minutes and 5 minutes, 288 ticks and 5 minutes, and a 4000 volume. Because now doing those years, I've been advising my traders, after you eat your turkey on the Thanksgiving day, I normally stop trading because there is nothing but volatility on doing the Christmas and all that. But it is very important doing those hours or those last few weeks we have in this year. If you are using a good auto trade with 1000 volume, that it is an advantage, because when you have people start closing their books for this year, they don't feel like want to trade anymore. And I noticed, I mean, if you want to take a trade, or if you wanted to take a manual trade or anything like that, it has to be a very attractive trade before you jump on it. You have to be a little bit pulling a little bit after the Thanksgiving, because things can go a little bit bad, lack of volume in the market. So it is very important doing those hours or the last of this year to use 1000 volume. I find it very profitable doing those timing. The 5 minutes and the 3 minutes, they got the same thing, 4,000-5,000. This is on the last trade. And then if you wanted to reload after the market, if it hits the target and you think you still have time, you can right click on any chart. You can go reload, and then you click it, and then all the trades, the previous trades, you will not see anymore. Because like here you have a trace. If I do that like right now and reload, now they're all gonna disappear because you are reactivating the auto trade and start all over again. But you can do that, and this is exactly what happened on that trade here. Every chart has hit the target, but I left the 3 minutes. I like the DAX on the 3 minutes, and this is, I want to show you, this is the second round on the 3 minutes auto trade, and the rest are off, are finished. On the 4,000 volume, we didn't have any trade, and that's very fine. We don't have it. But if we are looking here, we want to speed out. If you notice, That auto trade on the last round, based on one trade, nailed over 2100. And you can close it, you can force to close your auto trade by going with the button on the top and say close position, or if you want to stay on that trade and let the auto trade decide when to get out of that trade, and you can do that. So this is the first round in the morning where you can see that I'm only using and trying to minimize my charts, and this is all what I need. I need 6-7 charts, and this is more than enough to make it in the morning before the markets open in the afternoon. And then we have the market open at 9:30 Eastern time, and now we will go ahead and start picking on something we have done today on the. And if you notice there, all of them started at 9:30, not even 1 minute before. You can see one trade on the YM, 280 ticks, and it's done, one trade. So on that perspective, on that matter, staying going in and out of the market, facing the slippage constantly, and or getting aggravated over your broker, which your broker has nothing to do with it, why he didn't get you filled, or why he got you filled, or you don't know, you don't understand the limited order. This is another one, and this one here is a 5 range. Also the same story, is one trade and call it off. So there is a good algorithm in that auto trade. For the trader is unaware, don't understand the stop loss, trailing stop, and all this, don't understand market movement, this is his best option. And whatever that market is gonna give you from 9:30 to 10:30 or 11 o'clock, you should be thankful. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, sometimes you will have a lot of good days, and sometimes you might bump into bad days, but welcome to trading. If your stomach cannot understand the two different, I wish it can be honey all day long. So this is on and on. If you wanted to see volume, this is a volume, and the auto trade again took a trade, and it was finished at 650, one trade. So I can afford the slippage. Let me look to another thing. Let me look. Another YM, this one here is 810. Also, after 9:30, took the trade, 810. One trade, anybody can afford YM. Anybody can afford YM. Let's look at the CL. Okay, look, on that CL today, we have some volatility. Look at this. It was horrible on the CL, and it was struggling the CL all day long. Look. That's very fine. And the minute the market took a spike, we took advantage of it, and it was all in the green. So you can see immediately the auto trade. This is the whole idea, is if you start it wrong, that our stop loss is very small, that can help us survive for the rest of the day until we catch the spike. Let's look at another CL. And to see, and this is 150 ticks, it's not a big deal, but let's look at another CL as an example on a 4 range. Is Monday on the CL, and you can see it was struggling, and it's still struggling, this one here. So there is no there is nothing, not much going on the CL. Let me see this one here. This one here is the 5 range. Took one losing trade, one trade up, and it's done. 3 trades, and we were out of here. So sometimes you will have it, a market is struggling, and that will be an option for you. When you see the market is struggling, maybe it is a good idea to skip it. So the whole idea for that auto trade is not hard to do. Turn on couple buttons, 9:30, turn it on. If you see this market is trending and taking a trade, keep it. And if it's not, maybe it is, stop it after 1 hour and whatever you can get out of it, because if it's going in a circle, it's going in the circle. So this is where what happened today, and I would like to show as an example today on the DAX 150 ticks. We were done at 7 o'clock Eastern time. The DAX on a 5 range, those are the same charts you have looked at right now. At 4:39, we were done with 912. On the 5 minutes, and you can see the 5 minutes, it took one small trade. And if you look at the trade, it got in at 42 level and get out at 40.5 stop loss. You calculate how much losses in this, and then bang, one trade, and it was over. And we were done at 8:07 Eastern time. DAX 288, we were done at 7:02, a profit of 3,600. We've done this one. YM 288 ticks. We started at 9:30, at 10:28 we were done with that. YM 5 range. We started at 9:30, we nailed 800, and we are done at 10:26. ES, we started at 9:30, we are done at 10:36, 725. NASDAQ 1 minute, we started at 9:30, we were done at 10:37. NASDAQ 150 ticks. Look, the struggle today on the NASDAQ on the 150 ticks, still we nailed it. If this market moving, we're gonna nail it. The minute that market is going to spike, we're gonna grab that trade, and we're not gonna let it go. YM 1 minute, started at 9:30, we're done at 10:30. Here is your numbers. YM 244 ticks. We started at 9:30, we are done at 515. Those numbers, those trades you're looking at, if you are going a live trade, you will have a plus, minus 1 or 2 ticks. Plus or minus 1 or 2 ticks. The reason is because it's a market order, but it's a swing trading, so become those slippage 2 ticks are irrelevant to your whole principle of your trading. Another one, ES, we started at 9:30, we were done at 10:38. CL, we were done at 11:45. CL 11:54. You can see when the market is struggling. CL 12:10. So you can see immediately that today the CL was really going south and it's not moving to the right direction. NASDAQ 10:37. 1 minute chart, we are done. DAX 641, we were done. DAX 3 range 620, we were done. DAX 4 range 441, less than an hour, we were done. This is an idea, folks. For the guys, there is nothing to be ashamed of. For the guy who cannot comprehend limited order, market order, don't know how to optimize, is very fine. We did our homework, and whatever that market is willing to give us for today, we should be grateful, whether plus or minus. We have no effect, we have no inventory on that market, we have no impact on that market. All what we do, we say we are doing our homework, and whatever comes out of the market, it comes out of the market. If you cannot survive with that auto trade, there is nothing left out there for you to survive. We'll continue covering the swing trading on the A scalper. Remember 2 things. Click on and off, set your target, and all of them, all those auto trades, folks, is $500 target. All of them, no exception. And the whole idea is taking 1 or 2 trade and get it over. You will have bad trades, you will have good days, you will have bad days, but as long as we have a good days, consistency in the market, that's what is count. For the DAX traders, the DAX on that auto trade is being very consistent, non-stop. Very consistent on that. Folks, I'm sorry, I apologize. Took too long for that video today, but I hope that can give a little idea how things work. And we'll see you all tomorrow in the webinar. God bless you all. Happy trading, and be safe. Bye for now.